Hey, this is Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And that includes my very special guest today, Aaron, who was working as a security guard in a prison when he found my course and was not happy with that career path. He hustled very, very hard, was very determined to change his path in life, and he ended up getting a remote SEO job, making $48,000 a year. He's very happy with his new career path, and I'm very excited to share his story with you. Thanks for being here, Aaron.
What's up?
What is up indeed? What is up is your new career path. So let's get into that. Why don't you tell people a little bit about the job that you're working right now?
Well, right now, like you said, it's the whole Google My Business that changed into Google Business Profile. And it's where obviously, whatever business, actually, we work with anything from real estate, doctor's offices, car places, all kinds of things. And they upload their information. They want to upload it to a Google profile. That way their stuff is, readily available. And basically, I'm the person that does that for them.
Awesome, man. And how do you like your new job?
It's a million times better than working at a prison, which I already knew, but I didn't have a choice at that time. I had to work at a prison because I had to pay bills. And like you said, I put in a lot of work to try to get out of that. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that. So like you said, obviously we'll talk a little bit more about your current job, which it sounds like it's fulfilling, it's remote, you're enjoying it. What was going on in your life when you found the course?
So at the time, I was between a lot of jobs. I had actually tried insurance. I tried even car sales, all those things, because I was really just trying to get my foot in the door, start a career, make money, all those things. I couldn't in the end. I couldn't. I actually got fired from the car place after like a month. I knew that was coming because they cut my hours and all that stuff. I started working in insurance, couldn't make any sales. They said, oh, it takes like 3 months to, actually start up and make money. And by 2 months, I was already done. I had just come out of school. I was burnt out, so I couldn't go that route again. I felt like every bridge, time and again, just burned down, and there was nothing I could do about it. Found your course, and at the same time, I had a bunch of friends kind of counseling me to aim for corrections, working for the state. Didn't want that because of my background, but I was like, I'll do basically whatever I need to so we can get bills paid. And about that time, I worked in the prison, I don't know, 2, 3 months, got enough money, and I was able to start paying for the course. And that's when I went to work. I went to work.
Wow. Wow. And I mean, you said your background, like obviously you were hired by the state, so you don't have a criminal background, but like just like just you just didn't want to work in corrections. I mean, I don't know who wants to work in corrections. I mean, it's obviously a very difficult field to be working in.
No, the reason I didn't want it because of my background was because my mom, she was not the most pleasant person for my upbringing. She liked to exploit law enforcement to get her way with things. And so with that, I've since then had a really poor view of any kind of law enforcement. So I didn't want to go that route because of my experience, but I didn't have a choice.
Got it. So you're working in prison, meaning you're like in charge of disciplining, people who are in prison. Was this a minimum, like medium or maximum security prison you're working in?
It could be either, but mine was a maximum security. Everybody would the most we had were 4-man cells. The most we had. The prison smelled bad. The culture among the COs, among the employees, was toxic. The inmates were horribly manipulative, just like my mom, things like that. So I said no. I'm not doing this for a career. A lot of people did turn it into that. I didn't.
Clearly. Wow. Well, that's again, I mean, it's a very interesting. I appreciate you sharing. I mean, most people who say, yeah, they were working kind of a boring office job or they were unhappy working sounds like very, very difficult position to be in. And by the way, you said you got out of school. What did you major in school?
Actually, a lot of things. I started as just a Spanish major. I tried to add business to that because I thought I wanted it. I then took accounting, which dissuaded me. Kept trying to find stuff. I eventually added biology to that. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna, go be a bilingual doctor. What do I know? And a lot of things failed with that. I finally got both degrees, low GPA. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to get to med school by chemical engineering. Went to school then for engineering, and I went all the way to Cal 2, and I got burned out. And so I had to drop out, couldn't continue.
Yeah, man, calculus, this is intense.
I still like it. I still love calculus. I do. I miss Cal 2. I really do.
Got it. Wow. So yeah, that's an interesting path to this point. So once, and by the way, man, I gotta ask you, I know people are wondering, what's up with the beard? It's like,
So for the prison system, you're like required to shave it. Like in academy, they will kick you out if you have a beard. If you have not any facial hair, but they will kick you out if you grow it out too far. After exiting the prison system, I thought I just want to try it. I just want to try. I've done it before. I failed. I couldn't stand it. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna give it a legit effort, and here we are.
so yeah, okay, so you're working in this job that's very difficult. You get the course. How did it go? How did you like, did you study a lot? Did you only study when you had time off? Like, how did it work?
I was only able to study when I had time off because they don't even allow us computers like in the prison. I mean, we could take some stuff in, notepad, pen, maybe a small bag that's clear. I only got it on my time off. Most of the time, I was running on, I'd say about 5 hours of sleep. That's when I would be working, because it was either condense sleep or condense something else, because I couldn't condense work. That's one of the reasons I worked so hard to get it all done, because I thought I've got to be out of here. I can't do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't want you to be on your smartphone while you gotta, manage inmates. But yes, yes, it sounds like a lot of pressure to do that type of job and then also have time to study. So I commend you for your focus and your perseverance. So how did it go? Like, tell us what it was like going through the course, then generating experience, getting interviews, all that stuff. How did that go?
So it was confusing in parts for me, and it was straightforward in a lot of parts. One thing I didn't realize was going through, for example, the PPC spreadsheet, the SEO audit. I didn't realize, okay, this video is what you're supposed to do. Follow this and just do it. Choose an auto place, just as you say, not a restaurant, and take it from there. I was finally able. I started doing those the second month because I rewatched all the first part. And then as I was going through the second one, I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out these assignments. And the very last part was when I was working on my website. And as soon as I kind of got it up and running, I did not have anything really well done on it. It was definitely not optimized. It was absolutely garbage, much worse than it is now. I just started applying for jobs that I was familiar with Ahrefs, that I was familiar with Screaming Frog, that I was familiar with keywords and Google AdWords, that I was aware of. Just that language actually landed me the job, because when this lady, Ashley Dunn, who's the current SEO director for AE, asked me, well, do you know about Moz? Do you know about, she called it Ahrefs. And we kind of actually started joking in the interview, because I said, wait a minute, is that how you pronounce that? Because I said, I've been saying Ahrefs for like 2 months now. Have I been getting that wrong? And she lost it laughing. So she goes, so you are familiar with those things? I was like, that's what Seth has us using for the course. We have to use Screaming Frog to, scan a site, to understand H1 tags and meta descriptions. We have to do all these things. So yes, I'm really familiar with it. I actually knew more, I think, than any of the other applicants that she had, I believe.
That's awesome. And it is often the case. That's funny you say that, because I did think Ahrefs reminds me of that Key and Peele sketch with the Aaron.
Yes. I keep introducing myself that way. Yes.
Yeah, you're Aaron. Yeah, so
Yes.
Ahrefs. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the guys. If you're watching it, understand that's one of the keyword research tools, along with SEMrush. It's two of the top keyword research tools that are, going to teach my students to use the tools that industry professionals are using. So that, as you said, you didn't need to necessarily be an expert with it, but you know that it exists and you know how to use it. And that is what, impressed this hiring manager. So, yeah, so did you do a bunch of interviews, or just like one or two interviews? Like how did that, how was
The
the,
interesting thing, to get to agency elevation, I probably put in 20 applications. I kept putting in more after that because it took them a minute kind of to get back to me. I probably put in about 20 before I heard from them. And that was at about the 2 week mark once I started applying. And then I put in my 2 week notice, and 2 weeks thereafter. So like that's why I said, it took me 3 months to actually get the job. So, um, I mean, I don't currently use almost any of that software in my job, but I'm actually building my wife's site for her event planning, and I'm her marketer. So I'm doing it by freelance. I haven't been making any money technically with that yet, but it's because I'm also structuring her site because of the tools that you showed us.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that. That's beautiful. You get to
I'm
help
even
your
happier, trust me.
yeah. um, but so again, digging back into, so you applied to about 20 jobs. The agency Elevation they've hired a few of my students. They got back to you, but what was the interview process like? Like, were they asking, I mean, obviously they're asking you about your experience, you're working at a prison, like how did, did that come up? Did they ask you about your previous jobs? Like, what did they want to know?
Yeah, so they were concerned that I have at least a little experience, but my point to them was I've already been getting that because I said this is why I sent you like an SEO audit or two that I did. I volunteered my PPC spreadsheet. They were impressed that I even knew about AHREFs, as she put it, and they said, well, we have this other position that we'll let kind of what we think. I got an email a couple days later, and they said, okay, you applied for the SEO specialist position. You don't have enough experience for that. What about a GBP specialist? That's when I posted to the group and said, I have never heard of this. What's going on? And turns out everyone said, jump on it because that's your first step in, which is what you said is all you need. And so I kind of wanted like at least a $55,000 a year thereabout salary. Kind of wanted that, but I thought if I can get 48 and get out of prison, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Get out of prison. Well, get out working out of prison. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, that's also another great lesson for you guys. And I had the same experience in my career, which is where you apply for something. I said, always apply. Be bold. Don't, no one's gonna, get you in trouble for applying. But they may say you don't qualify for X position, but we have this other position. Maybe this position is too senior. In my case, what I did was I applied for like a management position when I had no business applying, and then they said, no, we have a junior position. In this case, now you have this GMB position, and you're in with the company, you're making, a good salary, and you can move up from there.
Yep. My experience.
Yeah. So what was it like when you got the job offer?
When I got the job offer, as far as I was concerned, I was home free. I wasn't sure kind of whether I wanted to turn it into a career or not. I've even been asked by management since then, are you looking at this as kind of just like a part-time job, a thing you do seasonally, like what's going on? And I told them, no, I think I'm gonna turn this into a career. I love being able to turn to business owners and say XYZ is what you need to do, and these are why. And I know this because I've got the experience for it. I do it in my job. I do it in freelance. Um, Once I got the job, part of the reason it felt home free was because I stopped having to just sleep, say, 5 hours a night or something. So all the sleep deprivation was gone because I was finally able to get out of the freaking prison where it's awful. It's horrible.
And so that's awesome, man. So I just want to dig in a little bit more and like how did it feel? Especially also, I think I don't know your family or friends, what they thought of you doing this digital marketing thing, which maybe they didn't understand. Like, how did it actually feel when you got the job offer, considering all the pressure you were under?
I felt the only word that I've been using for that for the past 3 months has been vindicated. I told my dad and my wife, I said, I found this course and I see all these thousands of interviews. I said, I think I know how to get out of this prison. I think I know what to do. And they said, Aaron, it's a scam. Seth is going to take your money, run. He's going to take off. No, don't do it. And I said, Dad, you've been searching for 15 years and look where you are. To my wife, I was like, you don't really know because you've never done it. I said, how is he going to forge thousands of interviews? Doesn't make any sense. So I said, no, I don't think that. And I said, I'm going to get a job after I do this, but I've got to do this first. And they said it was crazy for me to expect it after the first month. And I said, I'm going to do it. Once I got the offer, I was like, showed my wife. And I said, you were saying, because I said, now we get to pivot. I get to work remote. We get to save money. Come on now. I said, this vindicates me. I told you.
I love it, man. Wow. Yeah, that would be a lot of work to orchestrate all those when people think.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I get the skepticism. I totally get it. But I'm very happy that you took that attitude and that effort. And it sounds to me like you said, like you didn't do everything perfectly, but you had the drive, you had the knowledge, you put yourself out there, and now you have your foot in an entirely new career. You're working remotely. You don't have to go into a prison every day. Your options are just going to continue to grow, man. So
yeah.
I'm very happy for you, and I'm excited to see, we'll check back in with you in, 6 months to a year. I'm sure you will have moved even further ahead. Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody watching the interview or to me?
I would say probably stick to it because I see a lot of comments on the Facebook group about, oh, I got into it. They kind of sort of did it for like a month or something, dropped off for like a year, came back, kind of ebbing and flowing. I was absolutely committed from before even I started the course just because I knew I had to do something to get out. When you're under that kind of pressure, there's not really a choice. So stick to it, do as much as you possibly can, get your spreadsheet, get your audit all good, get them done. That way you have examples because I had employers ask me, hey, can you audit this site? I just went to Andrea's videos. I followed what she said. In fact, I copied and pasted her words onto the Word document. And then I was able to use that for clout with other applications. So you've heard it ad nauseum. I get it. Trust us. When we say we did it, do it. Follow the steps, do it as best you can. You'll get it if you stick to it. You got this.
Awesome, man. Very inspiring advice. And yeah, and it's true. Yeah, perseverance and staying focused and it's tough to stay focused these days. I mean, I unfortunately you were in this very difficult situation, but it did provide you with that pressure. These days, I
Yes.
just see how it's so easy to get distracted with so much stimulation out there on the internet. But yeah, sticking with it, following through, that's how you get the results. But listen, man, I appreciate you sharing, your story with us. Is it okay if people reach out to you on LinkedIn if they have any questions for you?
Yes, please. Look, I've started newly frequenting that app given my industry. So yes, please, please.
Cool. So I'll put his LinkedIn link in the description below the video. Um, yeah, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm really happy for you. I'm happy I was able to help you make this change. And I hope you and your wife, are again enjoying the freedom and the flexibility of this. And we'll keep in touch. And I look forward to seeing where you go from here.
Good to finally meet you face to face in some sense, Seth.
Awesome. Same here. All right, man. Well, you have a great rest of your, rest of your night, and we'll be in touch. We'll talk soon.
All right. Talk to you then. Bye.